Death is an inevitable stage of every person's life. Saying goodbye to those who have departed is not only a sad ritual, but also an important part of society's life. Every culture has its own burial traditions, but in most cases, the body of the deceased is committed to the earth. This process, despite its simplicity, is complex and mysterious, filled with biochemical reactions that continue even after the heart stops beating. I will try to explain in detail what happens to a human body underground, a year after its burial, and also reveal the secret of what changes occur at different stages of this unusual journey on the 3rd, 9th, and 40th day. On the 3rd day in the grave, the decomposition stage begins. Only 3 days have passed since the burial, but the decomposition process itself is already beginning. Initial changes occur at the cellular level. The body begins to lose heat, and its temperature rapidly drops to the ambient temperature. Without access to oxygen, anaerobic decomposition begins, resulting in the release of gases such as methane and hydrogen sulfide. These gases are formed as a result of the activity of bacteria that accumulate in the body. By this time, the skin begins to turn pale and then redden, which is associated with increased pressure in the veins and capillaries. An unpleasant smell of decay begins to spread around the burial, indicating that the decomposition process has started. On the 9th day, the active decomposition stage begins. By 10 days in the ground, the condition of the body continues to change. The bacteria responsible for decomposition actively multiply, and the process of decay accelerates. The skin begins to crack, and gas bubbles appear in the muscles and tissues. This process is called gas formation, and leads to those unpleasant odors that we associate with decomposition. Microscopic organisms, such as bacteria and fungi, begin not only to destroy cells, but also to release many different chemical substances. By this time, the body loses its integral form, and the bone structure begins to undergo changes under the influence of moisture and acid in the ground. On the 40th day, preparation for the mineralization stage begins. 40 days after a person's death, the body loses a significant part of its mass. The action of bacteria leads to the almost complete decomposition of soft tissues, such as muscles and organs. Other organisms are also involved in this process: worms, insects, and larger soil animals, which also accelerates decomposition. At this stage, mineralization begins, a process in which bone tissues begin to dissolve and turn into minerals. Therefore, nothing remains on the ground except fatty residues and bone meal. Most likely, if we dig up the grave after this time, we will see only a small remnant of what was once a full-fledged human body. After 6 months, there is an almost complete decomposition of the human body. By 6 months after burial, only the skeleton remains. Soft tissues have completely decomposed, and bones are attacked by microorganisms and moisture. This leads to further destruction, but due to their strength, they are preserved much longer than soft tissues. During this period, a change in the chemical composition of bones is possible. They may become more fragile due to mineral loss. In some cases, bones can also be entangled with plant roots, which contributes to their further decomposition and additionally breaks the mineral structure. After a year, interaction with the environment occurs. By the end of the first year of burial, the body, so to speak, coexists with the environment. The remains of the decaying person become part of the soil ecosystem. Death is not the end, but rather a cyclical transition to a new stage. Death is not the end, but rather a cyclical transition to a new stage.